Alafia, and welcome back once again to the online IFA classroom. My name is David Graham. I also go by Awo Ifa Foray at the IFA Foundation International. And I need to apologize first and foremost for the sabbatical. For those of you that wondered where the content was and why it wasn't forthcoming, I bought a new house. And again, for those of you that have gone through that experience, I was going through the fun of closing on the house, doing the move, unpacking all the boxes, putting the office back together, etc., etc. So I appreciate your patience and time to get back to the grind. Today's topic was suggested by one of the subscribers, and I think it's something that needs to be discussed, and that is the Yoruba concept of Iwa Pele. The more I work with people, the more that I teach, the more I hear Iwa Pele thrown around over and over. And I'm not certain that everyone has the full understanding. When I do divinations for folks or when we talk about their spiritual path, I impress upon them that the entire point of the Yoruba spiritual philosophy or spiritual discipline and in fact, the point of all spiritual discipline is the development of good character of Iwa Pele. It's very easy to say that. Maybe not so easy to understand what Iwa Pele is. So when I ask, folks that I work with, what is Iwa Pele, they will quickly spit out or regurgitate, well, it's good character. And I say, well, what does that mean? And that's when I get the confused, deer in the headlights look. Iwa Pele does mean good character. It does mean doing that which is right because it is right. But as with most things in spiritual disciplines and in Ifa in particular, it is that simple, yet it is that complicated. Literally translated, Iwa Pele is Iwa Opa Ile, or I come to greet the earth. Iwa Pele is not a set of dogmatic rules, regulations, or commandments about how we're supposed to live our life. Iwa Pele is, through the development of a spiritual practice or a spiritual discipline, the understanding of the way that our planet and even our universe function and our place functioning within it. So it is the idea of a symbiotic relationship between yourself, your family, your community, your country, expanding to your planet, your relationship with nature, and your relationship with the universe as a whole. Albert Einstein, one of the greatest thinkers of our age, said, if you want to know any answer to any question, look to nature. And that's very poignant when reflecting on the concept of Iwa Pele. Now, you can go to many spiritual books on Ifa, and you'll find a list of do's and don'ts, a list of the 10 commandments of Ifa, usually with different spins relative to the author. In fact, you can even find 16 truths or principles on the Ifa Foundation website. And I'm not negating the validity of that. Those are universal truths or universal principles that, if followed, will and should help you live and lead a better, happier, more prosperous life. But they're not divine principles laid down by a mortal man as, quote unquote, the Word of God. They are reflections, logical reflections, on principles given to us by nature. The idea that, first of all, this is a benevolent universe where everything functions exactly as it is supposed to and that it's positive. The idea that there is no devil, there is no ultimate malevolent force that is out to get you. And then typically that's followed by, advice on how to live your life. Don't talk about others, don't steal another man's wife or another woman's husband, etc., etc. But again, these are logical conclusions. The idea that if I steal from you, it's okay for you to steal from me. Well, if that were the case, you can imagine that society, community would not function. Certainly would not function at its optimal level. So the idea of Iwa Pele, or I come to greet the earth, was that through either your own spiritual discipline or through working with elders of Ifa, receiving readings, making ebos, understanding the principles of the Orisha, the principles of your ancestors, you would understand your place here better. You would understand the way that the world and the universe function better. You would understand the rules of Mother Nature better. And in so doing, you would apply it to your life, and your life would get better. The idea that at different points in your development, you needed the consciousness or the energy of certain universal characteristics, which we call Orisha. And you needed those at play in your life, and that you could connect to those and borrow a small piece of that divine energy, take it, out amongst your life, and things got better. The idea that sometimes in your life you needed the help of those who have come before you and experienced something you were going through, and that through prayer and ritual work you could go to your ancestors and you could receive help, or you could receive answers. The idea that sometimes you need help and your Ifa community is there for you, and you can go to your elders, you can go to your priests, you can go to your peers, and you can receive the help that you need. And certainly the idea that when everything is going well, you can give back. You can give back to your planet, you can give back to your Ifa house, you can give to those less fortunate than you, and you will receive exponential blessings as a result. These were all part and parcel to Iwa Pele, to greeting the earth and understanding our place within the system. And Iwa Pele, as a concept, was, is, and will always be the entire driving factor behind practicing Ifa spiritual discipline, behind practicing any spiritual practice. The idea that we become better people, and as a result, we become a better community, a better country, a better planet. But that it all started with us, and that the only way that we could become better people was to have a greater understanding of the universe that we're a part of, the planet that we live on, and the community that we live within. It's not a set of rules and regulations. It was not carried down from a mountain by a prophet and laid at our feet. Although stories will allude to that, again, they're teaching tools. It was the idea that through thought, prayer, reflection, ritual, intellect, understanding, and empathy, that we could indeed make this a better place for ourselves and a better place for those that came behind us. Anyway, with all that said, it's glad to be back. Feel free to leave comments, concerns, or criticisms. And stay tuned. Going to be turning out some content, getting back on the horse, so to speak. I definitely want to start talking about Ifa as a spiritual discipline and what that means to you. Also, look for some changes coming at the Ifa Foundation International. We very soon will be rolling out an Ifa study center. It's, at least on the surface, going to be a subscription-based site. And it's for those of you that can't physically get down to the Orisha Gardens or can't physically interact with a Babalawo or an Ian Ifa. The idea is that you can receive new content every month, whether you are initiated, non-initiated, or working your way towards initiation. That you can study, you can learn, you can grow, you can receive ebos and practice, and you can begin to do the work to create your own spiritual discipline and hopefully make your life better, and then reach someone else and turn them on to making their life better. So thanks for listening. It's good to be back. As always, take care of yourselves and take care of each other.